Morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. Obviously, we're going to discuss the incident that occurred on a Route 79 bus last night, 13th and Snyder. I'd like to open it up by thanking Deputy Commissioner Frank Vanor from Philadelphia Police. Just kind of brief you on what we know at this point, any updates at all, and we'll go from there.
All right, good morning. I'm going to talk very quickly about the case that occurred last night, approximately just after 6:30 p.m. On Tuesday night. Our complainant in this case, boarded the bus, the Route 79 bus, and at some point took a seat on the bus. There's another individual on the bus, and they become at some point involved in a verbal back and forth. We can't tell that from the video we have, but we could tell from witnesses told us. At some point, they both stood, and that confrontation became physical, and there's some punches thrown. At one point, the offender exits the bus, produces what we now know is a 9mm handgun, and fires 2 shots back into the bus right at the decedent, and he's struck. He's later taken to the hospital and pronounced at 7:27 p.m. Today, we are going to release some video. It's still being worked on, but we're going to release it. That offender, and the best description I can give you, black male, he's wearing a black jacket with a red lining in the hoodie, and he also has a mask on his face. He had boots on, and he was wearing gray sweatpants. When the video comes out, you'll get a very clear photo of him. He did escape by the subway, and he was picked up later on in the area of Bargain Avenue, but we're still working on trying to find some images of him without the mask. So at this point, that's where we're at in our investigation. We're working with Septa, as we always do, to do our best to try to find more video to identify him. All right, so I'll turn things back over, and if you have a question later, we'll address it.
I want to thank the Deputy Commissioner for his strong partnership of the Philadelphia Police Department. Commissioner Bethel has also pledged support. In fact, he has talked about directing his officers to increase their checks of Septa buses in our facilities, try and raise or ease the concern of our employees, and we appreciate that. Look, the second incident in as many days involving gun violence in our buses, affecting our customers and our employees. Gunshots last night were fired directly at this individual with our operator immediately behind. In every scenario, uncalled for. While it's tempting to draw the conclusion that crime is out of control in the system, it's really not true. In fact, we are experiencing significant declines in virtually every serious crime category across the board. But it's this one that has us the most concerned. It's this category, gun violence, where we're not seeing the same effect in declines. And it's this category, particularly, that we are going to target, and we are going to target relentlessly. We're going to use every legal means at our disposal to target illegal gun possession on Septa. We're going to target individuals concealing their identity. We're going to target fare evasion. We're going to target open drug use. We're going to target every criminal code on the books. And when the law provides for our officers the ability to protect themselves through frisks, through learning if individuals are armed, we are going to do that in every case. We're going to be aggressive about it. I want to mention a few other approaches we're making. As our technology advances, we're going to leverage that technology in the fight against gun violence in this city on Septa. To date, over half of our fleet of vehicles have the ability to live look in on the camera system remotely without requiring somebody to be on the bus. And we're going to lean on that moving forward. We have more buses, more trains coming online every day. We're going to add officers aggressively this year. We're going to add virtual patrol specialists, two categories in particular that we've seen tremendous success in the last 6 months with the ability to decline crime in the system. Last year, we implemented a initiative putting cops on buses, as many as we can. We're going to increase that effort. And again, we thank Commissioner Bethel and his staff for doing the same. This afternoon, we're going to meet with city officials, members of Mayor Parker's staff and the police commissioner, others. Obviously, after 2 successive days of gun violence impacting our buses, this is going to be at the forefront of our discussion. We're going to work on ways to improve safety in the city and on Septa. Before I open up to questions, I want to bring up a member of our medical team, Amy Colucci, talk a little bit about the resources that we're providing for our employees.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Colucci, and I am the Occupational Health Clinical Specialist here at Septa. Obviously, in light of the recent events, mental health has really been the forefront of what we are focusing on in the medical department. The mental health of our employees is essential. We offer numerous services to try to help employees cope and navigate through these recent events and the fears that they may have. The main one is our Employee Assistance Program, also known as the EAP. This is a free and confidential service that is offered through Penn Behavioral Health. This service offers up to 6 free and confidential counseling sessions per topic per year to both our employees and their dependents, anyone on their insurance plan. To try to improve access to these services, we are now offering on-site counseling 3 days per week. If that doesn't work for our employees, we also still offer more traditional ways of accessing this via telehealth. And we're really trying to meet employees where they are as far as bringing access to them. After a critical incident like any of the ones over this past week, unfortunately, we can add additional on-site services. We work relentlessly with Penn to try to get help right to the districts or the depots that are affected. As we speak, we have an on-site counselor at Allegheny, and we're working on getting someone out to some of the other affected locations from this week. Employees can call the Employee Assistance Hotline 24/7. A licensed counselor will take the phone call, assess for any immediate needs, and then follow up as appropriate. After the 6 free sessions are completed, the counselor then works, if there's a need, to help the employee access longer-term services. We do have a variety of other services, and I could talk all day about them, but the EAP is really the main one. So if you have any questions, all of our information for our employees is on the intranet. They can always call the medical department, and we are continuously reevaluating the need and the best way to get help to the employees who deserve it and need it.
So, Chief, what is your plan now? Are you going to have a cop on every bus and frisk anybody who looks like they're carrying? People carry concealed. How are you going to know the gun's there?
We're going to enforce crimes. That's what we're going to do. We're going to enforce crimes. There is a lot of offending going on in Septa. Fare evasion, summary offending of all kinds. We're going to enforce crime. We're going to do it aggressively, and we're not going to apologize for it.
So a fare evaders carry. How do you know who's carrying? Is that the problem? People are evading fares, and you believe those people are also carrying 9mm weapons?
So we're guided by legal precedent, specifically the legal precedent of Terry versus Ohio. And that governs when and how officers perform frisks and pat-downs for their safety when engaged in legal detentions. We are going to abide by that legal precedent. We're going to remain constitutional in our actions, but we're going to be aggressive.
Do you think you could have picked off the shooter on the bus last night then? Under this legally, constitutionally mandated?
We're still looking at that. We're not in a position at this point to determine whether he violated any crimes prior to it. We'll know that shortly.
And he was wearing a mask. Was he wearing one of the masks that are banned on Septa now?
He was.
So how is he, so are you enforcing the mask ban?
We are.
So did anyone stop him from getting on the bus wearing that mask?
Not prior to the shooting.
So then it wasn't enforced prior to him getting on the bus?
It wasn't brought to law enforcement's attention.
So in those scenarios, because so many times law enforcement's not on the bus, does that mean that it's up to the operator? And maybe, is it because they're scared to say anything?
Look, there's no question that there's a level of fear in our bus operators. We are exploring ways to make it easier for all of our employees to report those things to us more discreetly, in a way that doesn't put them in jeopardy, their safety in jeopardy. And we're going to use any means necessary to give them that tool to do it. And look, we encourage our customers to do the same, right? You can use our app to discreetly report anything that doesn't look safe to law enforcement. That's what we want. We want customers, we want citizens of Philadelphia to reach out to law enforcement when they see something unsafe. Bring it to our attention. Doesn't mean that it's going to involve a detention in every case. We want to figure out what's a crime, what's unsafe, what violates our code of conduct. We'll determine that.
But doesn't it concern you that if even the lowest level of offenses, fare evading, and also just even enforcing the masks, if those aren't able to be handled, then how could you get to the level of enforcing whether or not people are carrying and shouldn't be carrying? Seems like a very heavy lift, is all.
So
What's the
those
bigger plan?
Those offenses are the most enforced infractions engaged in by our officers every day. Every day. They constitute 90% of our enforcement efforts. Are we going to stop 100% of it? Unlikely.
Chief Lawson, back to what you said about the perception that it's out of control and that's not true based off the numbers. You had mentioned something a few months ago at a press conference like this. Do you have specific numbers of the serious crimes that those numbers are going down and the gun violence? Because we asked last time and I don't think we got specific numbers, just the overall consensus that those numbers were going down except for with gun violence.
Yeah, so I'll have those numbers out to you today. I know that they evidence a decline in virtually every category across the board.
And what are some of those significant?
Year to date, robbery, homicide, rape, theft, aggravated assaults, all Part 1 offenses.
Chief, you say you plan to put more cops on buses. When it comes to personnel, can you quantify how many more and how does that play with the AI pilot that you have watching possible gun crimes in real time?
Yeah, so the AI pilot that we were running to detect guns has concluded. We are not moving forward at this time with that project. As you can imagine, for various reasons, right? Namely, the fact that we have a system that's fairly old, our camera system is fairly old. It didn't provide the results that we were expecting in the program. And quite frankly, if we're going to spend the money, which we are, we'd rather spend it on upgrading our network.
And the real-time camera, is that the same program that where you were hiring retired police officers to watch
Correct.
in real time? So you're saying that program, you're no longer going to continue it? Did I misunderstand?
Yeah, no, so we ran a technology pilot for 6 months on a piece of technology that would automatically detect firearms that were produced out in the open if it was seen on any of our camera systems. That's what I'm talking about. We're suspending that for the time being. Our virtual patrol group, the folks that we're hiring to just patrol our system by camera, we're increasing those numbers.
And those
Yeah, so I don't want to confuse anyone. When I say up to date, I just mean 4K high definition, right? Our camera network is the greatest prevention tool that we have going. We had pictures out within under 5 minutes yesterday, sharing with our partners in Philly. That tool, our network, the fact that we can produce these pictures immediately without being on the bus, remotely, that we can grab this information and get it out to law enforcement all over this city, is going to produce tremendous results for us moving forward.
Chief, does fare evading have anything to do with carrying a weapon? You say you're going to enforce fare evading. Are the two hooked? Fare evading is linked to gun violence in some way?
I will tell you that overwhelmingly, what we see after a crime, anywhere in our system, is the individual fare evaded to get on the system. Overwhelmingly. So if you're asking me, is fare evasion connected to crime on the system? Absolutely, and the evidence supports that.
Your Monday shooting was a kid who comes up and breaks the bus with gunfire. You can't stop him.
No, look, he wasn't on our system. He came from the intersection, and look, we're dealing with a gun violence problem, right? Those numbers are declining in the city, but it's a problem, okay? We're looking at essentially 170 shootings somewhat in the city this year, 2 now involving our buses.
Now, the shooter yesterday, he went down to Snyder Station and did he fair evade, did he just turnstile?
He did.
And how far were you able to track him on the system? Were you able to track him through the cameras?
We tracked him through his exit.
He didn't reveal where he got off.
Yep, he went one stop and exited at Oregon.
Chief, what do you tell the users who are now concerned? Many use Septa because they don't have any other options for transportation, but they're afraid that they're going to be kind of even higher while they're waiting for a bus or sitting in the bus or train.
I understand it. Look, I understand the fear, right? There's almost 1,700 shootings in this city last year, right? And the citizens of the city have the same fear exiting their homes, right? Our customers are smart, right? I don't expect them to drop their fear. I don't expect them to be unconcerned with crime in this city, right? What I hope they get is the fact that we're committed. I have over 230 sworn officers absolutely committed to this fight. And they're as frustrated and as angry as I am. And they're engaged.
Act 40, which right now is currently in litigation, but was signed into law by Governor Shapiro, are you able to even, are they even able to appoint a special prosecutor now that it's in litigation? Like, are they even able to do it?
So, as far as I know, we're on hold. And until I know otherwise, I mean, that's the cards we're dealt. I've said before, and I want to be crystal clear, I personally have established a very good working relationship with District Attorney Krasner and his office. He is prosecuting our crime. And he will prosecute this crime. I have every confidence in that. Until there's a change and we're not working with him, or we're working with somebody else jointly, and we'll go down that road.
Another question about manpower too. I don't know when Septa goes before an appropriations yet hearings, but is there an ask that you're gonna need from Harrisburg in regards to officers?
So look, we're always looking, we're always assessing deployments, assessing headcount staffing. We are budgeted at a number. I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled, that all of the executives in the authority has granted me permission to go above that budgeted staffing headcount by a significant amount. I am, as we sit here today, I am 2 officers under budget, just 2. I plan on hiring at least 40 more this year. And I've gotten that support from the SEPTA team and the SEPTA board. I'm thankful for it.
Are they a new class recruits in the academy, or are you talking about trying to recruit up it laterally or?
Both. Both. So I've set a goal for 40 more hires this year. That will come from at least 2 academy classes and lateral transfers.
Chief, so we're clear, when you mention more cops on buses, do you mean physically human beings on buses or more virtual patrols watching for both?
Yeah, physically. Physically.
And how can you start that today? Like today moving forward, and I get we can't solve the problem in a week, but today moving forward, what do you expect to be different than the past 3 days, where in the past 3 days there's been legal shooting?
Look, priorities change. Our focus changes and deployment changes every day in our line of work, right? We're taking cops that were deployed elsewhere and we're focusing them on buses. That's where we're seeing the need at.
You highlighted the camera system, you said over half of the units will be ability to live look cameras through the camera system. How many buses in that, when do you expect to have your entire fleet with that type of system?
I would expect it before the year is out. We have more buses coming online every day. Every train operating on the Broad Street and Market Frankfurt line has this feature built in already. And we're at about 60–70% in our bus fleet.
And how many crimes have been solved to date with that system?
I don't have that information for you. I mean, we can release some information on successful interdictions that we've had.
Looking at the three shootings, Snyder, Ogon, Concord, Catherine Avenue on Sunday night, is there any connections or similarities or any trends you're seeing, or is it just sort of a coincidence in your view that these really happened within the 3 days?
Yeah, look, I think what we can definitively say is overwhelmingly the pattern that we see in our system is that individuals who are armed, overwhelmingly illegally, get into verbal arguments, which escalates to violent encounters, and then the armed individual uses the weapon. That pattern has held almost 100% consistent for the last year and a half.
So we're clear, the fatal shot last night came from outside the bus?
Correct.
From someone who just has civilian.
Correct.
Chief, the governor's tied your funding to a cleaner and safer Septa. And he laid it out in his budget address. If it's not cleaner and safer, you're not getting the money that you would need to even close your gap. Do you think the money now is threatened by what we see here?
No. Look, we're frustrated by crime. We're angry about it. But I'm not concerned. I'm optimistic. I'm confident in the team that we have to address this issue. I'm confident in the partnerships that we forged in this city. I'm confident in our ability to make arrests, our ability to watch a large percentage of the system on a daily basis. I'm confident in our personnel.
It feels like some of this is beyond your control. You can't control people carrying guns.
That's
on
true
the
for
bus.
everywhere, right? That's true in every jurisdiction on the face of the earth. And we got a job to do. We roll up our sleeves, we pin the badge on, and we go do the job.
Chief, New York City just announced that they will deploy the National Guard to part of their subway system to help cracking down on crime. I know it's a very different system from Philly, but is that a possibility you would consider to make people feel safer here in Philly?
Look, I guess the short answer is we'll consider anything. We have explored a number of partnerships with law enforcement. And so I can't say that we'll draw the line in the sand anywhere, right? I'm aware that's a recent change into what MTA is doing up in New York City. I think the difference up there is they're dealing with a surge in crime overall in the system. We've seen positive declining numbers this year, but we'll explore any and all scenarios to keep our customers, our employees safe.
Okay, Chief, now, do you think it would be feasible to have SEPTA drivers armed to protect the riders and themselves?
So there's a number of scenarios, legal and otherwise, with that. We are exploring ways to increase protection, including ballistic protection. As you know, drivers are enclosed within an operator compartment in the bus, and we are currently testing similar protection for them that offers ballistic protection. So we're looking for ways to increase their safety.
Can drivers carry? If they're legal, have a legally right to carry, can they carry?
It is against all policy for any employee outside of law enforcement to carry on SEPTA property.
You reconsidering that?
That's probably an issue for our legal department.
Would you like it? Would you support it? Somebody legally right, able to carry?
No comment.
So you're confident in a lot of things that you said today, but how confident are you that you can protect riders?
I'm confident in the approaches that we've taken are having some success, right? I'm not tone deaf, right? I'm not going to come out here and beat the drum about all the success we're having after a critical incident, right? But we've initiated some deployment strategies that are proving fruitful. We're seeing the evidence of that. We're going to double down on it.